day, ladies and gentlemen. This is me, Dr. Esine Eviri, and I'm your host here on Chilling with the Doctors. And I'm glad today to bring you this topic that many people have actually asked me to talk about, and it's about this food, beans and plantain. Look, I understand how you may feel that after you've decided to change your diet, you're no longer eating those foods you love. You've somehow agreed in your heart that you want to eat foods as boring as beans and plantain. And yet, when you check your blood sugar after eating beans and plantain, as somebody living with diabetes, you notice that your blood sugar is high. It's almost akin to the disappointment we feel when we decided to vote change, and the change that we now have is not the kind of change that we wanted. So yes, that's how it feels. You've changed your diet after eating a particular food for 30, 40 years, 50 years, and now you're now eating boring beans and plantain and you're not getting the results you want. So why is this happening? Why is beans and plantain raising your blood sugar? So welcome back. So the reason is very simple. Now when you start managing blood sugar, one of the things your doctor will tell you is to be monitoring your HbA1c. You know what HbA1c means, right? Have you been checking it? You should check it at least once a year. And you may realize that the thing about HbA1c is that what raises it the most, what affects it the most, is the foods you eat. I know you know that already. So the thing is, the higher your HbA1c, the higher the chances of you coming down with complications of diabetes. And you don't want that. You want to continue enjoying life. It was not P square, it was two-faced. That everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Yes, nobody wants to die, and nobody wants to die miserably from the complications of diabetes. And yet, this food that you have decided to eat is now raising your blood sugar after eating, and it will impact on your HbA1c, which is also called glycosylated hemoglobin. So then, which foods really impact your blood sugar? Carbohydrates. Everybody knows that, including my little children, that carbohydrates will raise your blood sugar, which is why beans and plantain raises your blood sugar. Let me show you the evidence. Now, I got this data from nutritiondata.com. It's a trusted site where you can look at the nutrition profile of the different foods you're eating. Now, if you look at the data for beans, boiled beans, 1 cup of boiled beans, it has 47.8 grams of carbohydrates, and the fiber in that beans is quite high. It has 19.1 grams of fiber. Now, if you want to know the net carbohydrates in your food, that's the carbohydrate that is really going to raise your blood sugar, you subtract the fiber from the carbohydrates, and that will give us 28.7 grams. So in 1 cup of boiled beans, you have 28.7 grams of carbohydrates. Now, if you look at the protein is 15 grams. What does that tell us? Beans has almost twice as much carbohydrates as it has protein. So beans is a carbohydrate food that is protein rich. We know in primary school they taught us that beans was proteinous, which is why we erroneously grew up combining beans and other carbohydrates. I know when we are eating rice, I see many people too that are diabetic, when they are eating their rice, I don't want to use that word diabetic, I'm sorry for using that, I withdraw that word. When I see people living with diabetes, they usually eat their rice with beans, with the mind that, okay, beans is protein. No, actually, beans is more carbohydrates than is protein. If you know that already, please tell somebody to tell somebody. And please remember to share this video. Please like this video and comment so that YouTube will share this video with more people. People need to hear this truth. People are dying a lot from ignorance. Okay, so let's go on. So let's look at plantain. Now, see this plantain that I have in my fridge. It's just about the size of my hand. Okay, now this plantain, when I weighed it, it was 100 grams. In 100 grams of unripe plantain, you have 31.2 grams of carbohydrates, and the fiber is just 2.3. Now, so the net carbohydrates you have in plantain is 28.9. So by the time you combine this small plantain with 1 cup of beans, you're going to be having 57.6 grams of carbohydrates. Now that is a lot. So you see, even though these foods are healthy, when you combine them together, you're going to be having almost 60 grams of carbohydrates in that meal that is going to look small. Which is why when you finish eating beans in the night and you check your blood sugar, you're going to beans and plantain, you're going to see that your blood sugar has risen. So what does that tell me? It's something I often say, that don't combine two carbohydrate sources at the same time. Don't do it. We grew up eating beans either with rice, or we eat it with dodo, which is fried plantain, or we eat it with gari. That's my personal favorite. I grew up in Western Nigeria, so eating it with Ijebu gari with cold water and ice cubes was my favorite way to eat beans. Or we combine it with custard or with pap. Now what you're doing is that you're combining two different sources of carbohydrate together, so it's going to boom, it's going to raise your blood sugar. So it is not advisable for you to combine them. When you want to eat your beans with vegetables and a protein. Did you hear that? Eat your beans with or eat your unripe plantain with vegetables. Because just imagine if you ate only this plantain, which is about 30 grams of carbohydrates. If you eat only it with vegetables, you realize that your blood sugar will not rise. And the thing is that yes, the food looks small, which means an added advantage, you're going to lose weight. When you eat like this, you are going to lose weight. And everybody living with diabetes, if you are on the big side, losing weight is a bonus. It's a gift you do to yourself. I can imagine that this is going to be difficult to do, but you see, there's something I believe in. There's one quote that I heard, and the day I heard that quote, it actually changed the way I think. Is that if you believe you can't, you really can't. But if you believe you can, indeed you can. I want you to take this thing away. So tell your parents, tell your patients if you're a health worker, tell your friends on Facebook, in your WhatsApp groups, in your churches that are living with diabetes, that no, they shouldn't eat beans and plantain. It's not a good combination. Now I get that some people don't like beans because they say the beans makes them to bloat, it makes them to pass gas, to belch, epigastric, gives you pain in the upper part of your tummy. So if you have any of these complications, you can head over to my Instagram. I'm going to be sharing with us how to eat beans and not bloat. Yes, I'm going to be giving you that tip. So yes, I agree. Thank you. You can just, I prefer a thumbs up because it will help this video to reach more people. So thank you very much for watching this. Till I come your way next time, we'll be talking about another interesting topic. You can look at our other videos and please subscribe. Thank you very much, so that I know that the effort I'm putting in, despite my busy schedule to do these videos, is being acknowledged and maybe appreciated. Thank you very much. God bless you. Till next time.